Hello, everyone. This is welcome to Superhero with a Cane. This is podcast 21. This is actually the first podcast of the new year. There's been it's kind of cool. It's like every season of every thing on TV. There's episodes. So we had a delay in filming for a couple months, and now we're back to it. Um, the delay in filming is it's complicated. The living with primary progressive MS and being in a clinical trial and having all these cognitive issues is, a lot of fun as it is. I kind of have to, watching the cat about to attack a bird through the window. Um, so having all these issues is enough as it is. Now, when you add, family emergency to the mix, it takes on a whole different meaning. So the reason I want to talk about what I'm talking about is because um, I'm in the process. My dad had gotten fallen several times, a couple times, and ended up having to go into the hospital and into a rehab afterwards. Now the my mom has already been in this, as I don't know if I've talked about it or not, but my mom is already in this nursing home for the past 10 years. She's been on Medicaid and is paralyzed and has dementia and some memory issues. But now my father, who up until now has been pretty much on his own. He lived with us for a while, moved into his own apartment, and he's been taking care of himself. But uh, what we've come to find out is that he has not been taking care of himself. So he ended up on the floor a couple times. Couple of calls to the ambulance, trip to the hospital, and now he's in rehab at the same place my mother is in rehab. So, as you can imagine, all these events are with somebody that's struggling with primary progressive MS and has to deal with cognitive issues. Um, this is not a good thing for me, for him, and for me. Uh, for him, it's especially not good. He's going to be 82 years old in May, um, and he's struggling quite a bit. We for somebody with MS at this stage, um, we've got my wife works full time. Got three kids, all in two of them in high school, and one finishing up college, and I don't have. There's no other family to really step in and help take charge of this. So it's really on me. Um, the reason I'm talking about this is because my dad. It's been found out that through neurologists and other doctors that he should not be living on his own. We cannot move him in here because we're dealing with our own space issues and family issues. So the next step would be, we have to, the process is getting on Medicaid. He's been on Social Security. Um, I'm on disability. He's got um, Medicare for his insurance, but now the difference is when things become a financial crunch for you. Dad, had his bank account hacked into a couple times over the past several years, so someone had stole all his money. Um, but now with the sickness and then with the issues with him having to be in rehab and nursing home, um, it's put a financial strain on everybody. So there is no. You sit there and you have to battle like what makes sense. Does it make sense for him to attempt to go home and continue living in his senior citizen place, senior living, which is what he does, which means to have the care that the doctors are recommending, we'd have to have a full-time aide, which is expensive. So the only way to pay for that is through Medicaid. The challenge is that having a full-time aide through Medicaid is only really like a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday scenario. What doctors are recommending and what neurologist is recommending is that he have 24/7 supervision, which would mean overnight care, weekend care. All of this becomes extremely, unaffordable. I'm talking about this from the perspective of, a guy who lived with primary progressive MS that's already on disability and has Medicare. I remember my buddy Don that passed was on Medicaid, and he was living in a disability building where they accepted Medicaid, which paid for his room. It paid for his aid. He still had to pay out of pocket for his expenses for the weekend. And basically, once the aide came, they put him to bed in a hospital bed. It was pretty much by 6 p.m. every night. I might be wrong on that, but so he was in bed, pretty early, and wasn't taken out of bed until the aide came the next day. And going on Medicaid is a form of government type assistance, which pays for your medical expenses. You have to be approved for Medicaid. I doing this. It's ironic because from somebody with primary progressive MS, I still have my family that is able to help me look over things with me, and I have not physically reached that point yet where I'm unable to take care of myself. That may change as the years goes on with the progressive disease, and we have to make decisions then. But for now, for this guy, me, with primary progressive MS, to try to get my father on Medicaid is quite a task. So I have this cheat sheet, and the reason I'm going through this is because there are people with progressive forms of MS that may have to go through this process. But I am no means an expert, but unfortunately I've had to learn quite a bit as I attempt to get my dad on Medicaid while he's at this rehab. So, talk about the crap that a guy with cognitive issues does not want to have to deal with. Process-oriented thinking and detail and things like that. There were me and Sean, who's helped me. Me and Sean spent. I spent one day. He spent another day. Trying to find simple things like his, birth certificate, marriage certificate, copies of life insurance. We're over at his apartment for, hours trying to dig this stuff out and find it. And it was no easy task. You'd hope that it'd be all put in one place and that you could be able to get it out and make copies and be done with it. But it was not. There's also, thank God, I have one of the things needed is a power of attorney, which means I'm able to help make decisions for my father. I have the power legally to do that. Not something you ever want to do, but something we made a decision, 10 years ago that we should do in case something like this happened. And we thank God we did it when we did it. So, copies of health insurance cards and Social Security cards, and the biggest thing is they require a 5-year look back. So today, you think everything is electronic and everything is in the cloud, and you can just go. You think you should be able to just email records to someone, and that's not the case. They still require, in this digital age, printed records. So I had to go get 5 year statements, bank statements from my father's bank accounts, several of them, even my mother's bank accounts. Um, I had to get all this from the bank sent over to the people at the facility for them to help with the process. And you you can't own anything when you're on Medicaid. You're only allowed $2,000 in your bank account. You can't own a house, which was taken care of years ago. We were able to sell the house years ago, so that's done. But even the vehicle, can't own a vehicle, and then everything that goes along with that, canceling insurance. Then you have to. It's just quite a bit to go through this process. I don't know how my father did it for my mother years ago. He had to do this to get her on Medicaid when she was unable to, be by herself. So he did it without the help of the facility like I have. So thank God I have this facility that gave me a sheet and some guidelines of what to do. But anyway, the bottom line is that this overall kind of sucks. Um, it sucks to have to make that decision. It sucks as a person living with MS to have to make that decision to go ahead and deal with your family and get them on a program like this. So just think about the detail that's the detail oriented stuff that goes through a guy like me with cognitive issues. And it's affecting, it's definitely affecting me with stress, with my disease. I feel it every day. I feel it's my left side of my body is not responding the way that it used to. It's weakening. I've got this issue with my face that continues to go. So anyway, this isn't a bitch session. It's just it's a matter of something that you have to do as part of what you look out for your family. So I know that I never want my family to have to go through this. So when it comes to me, so I'll we'll just deal with that when it happens. But I don't know, Sean. What do you think?
That's pretty good.
How long is that?
We're at 13 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep up with the podcast as best I can. We're gonna talk about more positive topics this week. I just posted something about an article in the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation magazine, MS Focus, about the benefits of exercise and how that helps. That's something that is tremendous. I always talk about how if I didn't exercise before MS, how difficult it would be starting to exercise. But I believe that it's keeping me out of a wheelchair, keep me more upright at times and more mobile. And between between exercise and physical therapy, it's helping me. I think cognitively, physical aspects that if you're able to get out and do things physically, and also the fatigue that comes along with this. I make sure I plan my day accordingly so that way I get everything out of the way early and I don't let it beat me up. And wow, it seems like a really boring topic, the whole thing. Anyway, the whole point of this is that you're going to have to plan for things. There are details involved. Just make good decisions about your your health insurance and you're taking care of yourself. And I think that the more you continue to do physically, the longer that you'll have a positive outcome in this life, and the more that you'll be in a position where you won't have to think about things like going on Medicaid and all that kind of fun stuff. So, okay, I think I'm out.
All right. We can end it with a shot of Tony.
Yeah, Tony.